Welcome back to KMM Tech. My name is Kyle. Today I'm going to show you an application that I really love. It's something that I've really used for the last, probably 5 or 6 years at this point. And it's really helped me organize my day-to-day life and keep track of things that I need to do in the future. So it's called Todoist, and this is what it looks like. You'll see that there are basically 2 columns. It's kind of a simplified version of a list manager, I guess, but it works really well. It's really, really robust. So over here we have our navigation panel over here. So there's inbox, there's the today view, there's the next 7 days. This is a filter that I use for shopping. Under that, there's projects, labels, and filters. Labels and filters we're not going to talk too much about because they are premium features. I will say this, that there are labels and filters available built into Todoist that you can use. However, they're not really customizable. If you want to customize filters and create new filters and things like that, you do have to upgrade to the premium version. So projects we'll talk about inbox and today and the next 7 days. And I'll just kind of give you a general overview. So what we're looking at right now is the today view. This has all the tasks left over for the day. And like I said, I keep everything in here from feeding my dogs to taking out the garbage on the right day of the week, to meetings and phone calls and that sort of thing. It's really anything that I need to keep track of. It's in Todoist. I take it a little bit further. I also have recipes in here. I have to-do lists for rebuilding workstations and that sort of thing. So I have a checklist of all that sort of stuff. The important thing to remember is that this is for you. So you can really kind of customize this the way you want. So inside of projects, that's the first way you can customize. All of your tasks need to live somewhere, okay? The choice of where they can live is up to you. So you'll see that I have a lot of projects. There are a lot of projects that are nested inside of each other. You need to be careful, however, as you're doing this. There is a limit to how many tasks you can have in your project. And I'll put a link to that in the description below, just so you can see how I'll even show you as well before the video is over when we compare the free and the premium versions. But there is a actual restriction to how many tasks you can have. So you have to be careful as you create these tasks. And that's part of my my reason for having so many projects. I have so many tasks that are recurring. You'll see that inside of lots of stuff, there's 1,428 tasks, but they're all broken up into different projects. I'm pretty sure the limit's 200 per project. So I had to break them up into different projects to make them all fit, essentially. So once you have a task in a project, the object is to actually get it to a spot where you can complete it. For me, I live out of the Today view, and it's important to understand this. Inside of the Today view, the only way that this will get into this Today view is if it has a due date. So my rule of thumb is if I have a project or a task that needs to be completed, it gets a due date regardless of whether that due date is realistic or not. The object is that it needs to get in here. If it does not get into the Today view, it's never going to be seen by me. So let me show you a quick example of what I mean. So I'm going to go to the time off project because there's nothing in the time off project. So we'll call this task. Okay. Inside of this task, you'll see that I just created a test task. I did not schedule a time. So if I go to my today view, you'll see that that is not here. Okay. Okay. So if I go back to this task over here and click on this, I can schedule this for today and then hit save. You'll see that now it says today. If I go back to my today view, there's my test task. Okay. Now I can take this one step further. Okay. I can go back to the time off here. And let's say I want to do this today at 2 o'clock p.m. We'll hit save. You'll see now it says today at 2 p.m. Now when I go back to the today view, you'll see that we have 2 o'clock test task. So without that date, it will never make it in here. The other neat thing is, let's say that we have this task in here, and let's say, all right, well, you know what? I just don't have time to do this today. So I can come in here, I can go and change this, and let's say, oh, I want to do it tomorrow. And you'll notice that I hit tomorrow, and it kept that same 2 o'clock time. Well, let's say I don't want to do it at 2 o'clock. Let's say we want to do it at 3 o'clock instead. All right, so 3 o'clock p.m., and then we'll hit save. Now it is no longer inside of the today view. However, I set it for tomorrow. So if I go to my next 7 days, let's see if it's there. There it is. Test task, 3 o'clock p.m. So you can move these back and forth, and you can do it through the today view, the next 7 days view. You don't have to go back to the projects, find the task, and then change it from there. Okay. If you did need to do that, there is this find feature up here. So let's say I knew I had this task. Okay. I knew what it was called, but it had no date. So let me just do that. We'll save it, and we'll go back to the today view. So I have this task called test task, but I don't know where it is. I don't know if it has a date assigned to it. I don't know anything. So up here, there's this quick find. It's just a search feature. So if I hit test task, just like that, here we go. If I click on it, it opens up the task. Okay. It tells me when the task was created. It tells me what project it's in. Okay. It tells me the name of the task. If there were a due date, it would tell me here. Okay. If I were to add comments, these are other things. These are options for premium. So I'm not going to get into that too much. But from here, I can go in and I can schedule this and say, okay, let's move this to today again at 4 p.m. And then we'll hit save. And then we'll close this. And you'll notice that here we go, 4 o'clock, test task. Okay, so that's basic task management. The next thing that you're going to want to do at some point is you're going to want to close a task or complete the task. So let's say that this test task is done. All I have to do is hit this little check mark, and it's gone. You'll see down here at the bottom, it says 1 item completed. I can undo it, or I can hide the notification. If I did something wrong and I wanted to undo it, I hit undo. It'll pop back up. Okay. In this case, we're done with it. We can get rid of it. So the next thing I want to talk about is about the inbox. So the inbox is kind of a catch-all for me anyway, and you can handle inbox in a lot of different ways. This is basically for me, it's just kind of a catch-all where I need to create a task quickly. I don't really have time to store it in the right project, but it needs to go somewhere before I forget. That's what I use for the inbox. And if you notice, all of these tasks that are here, every single one of them has a date, okay? Some of these are not realistic dates. For example, like this one over here, this razor plating thing. I don't necessarily need to have this done on May 1st. It can happen before, it can happen after. It doesn't really matter to me. But I want it to be in there so that I do look at it at some point. So what will happen is when May 1st rolls around, this will pop up into my today view, and I'll say, I don't want to deal with this right now. I'll just move it over to another day. But the fact that it's here gives me that reminder at a certain day that this is something that I wanted to do. So all of these things are kept in here, and eventually, as I have time off during the day, I'll go here and I will move them out into a different project. And that's what we're going to do right now. So these right here, check Ubiquiti firmware, backup edge router, and backup unify are all things that have to do with my network setup. Okay, I like to take manual backups of all of my network about once a month, That way I have the automatic backups that are already generated, and then I have manual backups that are not on the device, that are offsite, in case something does go wrong with my router or my Wi-Fi or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a project, and then we're going to move these into that project. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a project by going to Add Project. And we're going to call this Technology Backup. Whoops. Now, I like to try and color code things a little bit to a certain extent. So this little dot, for me, technology is yellow. I don't know why it's yellow, but it just is. So what I'm going to do is go to Edit Project here. And if I click on the little dot, I'm just going to change this to, they call this olive green. It looks more yellow to me. So we'll go with yellow. And then we'll hit Save. And there we go. Now we have our yellow technology backup. So here's our technology backup project. So I'm going to go back to the inbox. And let's go to our 3 projects that we want to move. So you have a couple options. So the first thing you can do is you can go to this little 6 little dots, and you'll see that your mouse turns into this little cross. If you click and drag, you can just drag it right over to the technology backup. So now inside of technology backup, there's my Check Ubiquity firmware. Okay. So now it's out of here. Another way to do that is if you right click on it, you can go down to where it says Move to Project. The Move to Project is real nice because you can go through and search through all your projects this way. Or if you know the name of the project that you're looking for, you can just start typing it. And look, Home Technology, Technology Backup. I click on it. And now you'll see that there's 2 tasks in here. There's the first one that we added, and there's the second one that we added. Okay, and then we can go back to this one. This is Backup Unify, and we'll just drag that in. So it's real simple, real easy to move stuff back and forth between projects. And it's a good idea to do it that way because, you know, this can become an unwieldy list. And sometimes if you do forget to put that due date in and you start panicking, going through and looking through it, I like to keep my inbox as clean as possible. Obviously, I have not done a very good job of that. So I'm going to go through and clean this up after I finish the video. But that gives you an idea of how to use projects and how to move things back and forth between projects. The nice thing is that if you did put this in the wrong project, you can go in and use the same methods. You can just take it and drag it into a different project, or you can right click on it, go back to Move Project, and you can again type in whatever project, personal for example, and do it that way. But for right now, that's exactly how we want to leave it. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about the free versus premium. So we've talked a little bit about how there are some different tiers, and I'm going to pull up a website here. And I'll link this website below so that you can see the different options. So there are basically 3 plans. There's a free plan, there's a premium plan, and there is a business plan. So I was wrong before. Tasks per project, there are 150 tasks per project in the free version. Premium allows you to have 300. It used to be 200, I think, but they've upped it to 300. So the people ask, why do you have a limit on the amount of projects and the amount of tasks? The reason that Todoist gives is that they want Todoist to be a quick functioning piece of software. And they noticed that as the projects got higher in number, the slower Todoist would run. So that's why there's a limit for premium and for business, just to give you a better user experience. And they do limit the amount of projects and tasks per project based on the free version, just to get you to upgrade to the premium version. I am a premium version member. I have had premium for 5 years. It is well worth it. Not just for the active projects and the task per project options. There are other things that you can do inside of Todoist. One of those things is, where to go? There we go, files. So one thing that we did not talk about is that inside of Todoist, inside of your tasks, let me pop on back over into Todoist. And we'll just grab a task real quick. So down here you can write comments. Again, premium feature. The other thing you can do is you can add files. So you can really have this start to store and to categorize things that you need to keep track of. So it doesn't just become a to-do list manager, it becomes a file manager as well. And you can do all of that inside of Todoist. So you can upload photos from your computer, from Dropbox, from Google Drive, and have them attached to this project. That is only available in the premium version and the business version, and you are not restricted to how many files that you can have attached. Okay, so here we are. Here's where we talk about filters before. Okay, you are restricted to the amount of filters because filters do slow things down. So premium and business do have a limit of 150 filters, but if you look, the free version does not have filters. Again, filters are not something that you might want to use, but they are very helpful once you start to learn how they work. Okay, again, labels not available in the free version, but they are available in the premium and business version. Reminders are another good feature. Not one that I use because I live off of Todoist and I go back to it frequently. But you can actually have reminders pop up that say, when a task is due. So like, for example, back to Todoist. So for example, let's get to today. I can have this pop up as a reminder and say, okay, at 5 o'clock, a little notification will appear in the top right corner that says, hey, it's time to feed the dogs. It's not something that I use a lot. In fact, I block all notifications from Todoist because they were just obnoxious and I have so many of them. And because I check it so frequently that I don't really need those notifications. But if that's something that's interesting to you or that you'll make use of, you will need the full version, the premium version for that. Okay. Comments, again, like I had mentioned, are only available in the premium and the business version. And the ability to export those comments, again, are only available there. There are file restriction sizes, but again, premium versus free. The other thing that that you just need to be aware of, this used to be different, I think, but I think they used to limit the level of sub-projects. So the level of sub-project is simply this. The way I have these nested, so you can go in 3 nests deep, okay? I thought it was only 2 for free, but I guess they must have changed that, or maybe I was wrong. So that's that. One more feature that is only available for premium users is the ability to email a task to a specific project. You can even email it into your inbox. So one of the things that you can do is you go here and go to email tasks for this project. What it does is it generates an email address for every project that you have. Okay, so if there's a project that you use quite frequently, what I do is I add that to my my contact list so that I can go in when I email, it'll pick up that list, the address, and then I can email things. I use this for things like pay stubs and receipts and stuff. I track all that inside of Todoist as well. So as I get an email, I forward the email over to my receipts project, and then you can do it like that. You can also add dates. So when I get bills for, I get reminder that bills are due. For example, I get like my water bill gets emailed to me, and what I do is I forward it over to my bills, and then what I do is I add this down here. I can create that add that little the 2 carats and put a date inside there so that I know it will actually create it'll create the task with that day in it. You can add labels to it if you want. Again, I'm not a label guy. You can also set priority. Again, not a priority guy. But I do use the set due dates feature, and I do use the email data, email the tasks into a project. Very helpful feature. Again, it's only available in the premium version. So, yeah, if that's something that you're going to be using, that's something that's worth upgrading to. All right, so that's basically Todoist. Again, if it's something that you're thinking might be looking to use, I do recommend going over to the premium version. But give it a try. The price, it's not that expensive. It's about $4 a month. They do bill it annually, which I think comes out to they've changed the price now. Look at that. So it's $4 a month. They bill it annually, so that comes out to I think $48 a year for the premium version. I think I'm grandfathered in at a cheaper rate, but again, this is something that I use literally every day, and it tracks everything that I do, and it's well worth it for me to use Todoist and to pay for the premium version. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. You can leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like what we're doing here, please make sure you subscribe so you can see all the new videos that come out, and make sure you hit that bell notification. That's it for today, guys. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.